Rashad, why you
Anyways,
didn't hit me up?
Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
brother, I love you, brother. Trump lit.
What's up, Rashad?
Yeah.
What it do, boy?
We walking around the world.
Sir, it's Cam time. What is this? Greece? It's Cam time, baby. Welcome back to another edition, man, to another live, man. I'm Rashad Milligan. As you see, I'm back at the crib, man, after a month away from the crib. Oh, man, it ain't nothing like your own space. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm washing clothes right now off the dribble. So that's going on. So if you hear a beep, beep, beep in the middle of the live, that's what's happening. First things first, I do want to say congratulations to the Indiana Fever for winning the Commissioner's Cup. They just outright blew out Minnesota, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Kind of surprising result with no CC, no DeWanna Bonner, and they just dominated, bro. When you're on fire, you're on fire. Shout out to Ari McDonald. She did her thing. And the entire crew. So shout out to the Indiana Fever. Congratulations on winning the Commissioner's Cup this year. Who else do I want to shout out? Ryan Howard. I believe her injury update was day to day, and she's expected to make a full recovery. Here we go. Following evaluations by the Emory Sports Medicine professionals, Ryan Howard has been diagnosed with an upper body injury. She is considered day to day and is expected to make a full recovery. So once again, shout out to Ryan Howard. I'm glad everything is going smooth with her, and I'm glad she's expected to make a full recovery. Definitely don't want to see her out the game for far too long. Speaking of Ryan Howard, I wanted to mention this. You guys remember? I don't know if you guys were there. You guys might not have been there. When the Alyssa Smith family tried to make a debate out of Alyssa Smith versus Ryan Howard, they tried to make that a legitimate debate. And Alyssa, I ain't gonna lie, Liz had a great rookie season over in Indiana, but dog, it kind of looks that even the fact that it was even an argument or a discussion just seems kind of embarrassing at this point of both of their careers. And I know I'm tough on Ryan and everything like that with her shooting, but with their defense and the high moments that she provides versus the high moments that you get with Liz and how often those high moments come versus Ryan, it's kind of night and day. Yeah. And now Liz is on her third team in 8 months. So, I mean, there's that as well. I don't know. It's just something I'm looking at oh, that's crazy that was even a debate that they tried to enforce. I don't think it's even close. Okay. Michael Beasley. Let's get into it. Michael Beasley. He has financial issues. Michael Beasley. Here it is from Phil Lewis. Shout out to Phil Lewis. My brother, my dog. For sure, always. I got you, twin. I don't know why I said all of that. But yeah, shout out to Phil Lewis. The FBI is just one problem facing Malik Beasley amid an $8 million and escalating financial problems kind of conflict that he's found himself in. This is from the Detroit News, these screenshots. Court records obtained by the Detroit News paint a picture of a turbulent personal life as Beasley experienced a career breakthrough with the Pistons last season. And while debts mounted from a celebrity barber, a dentist, a landlord, a lender, a marketing firm, the court records and details about a years-long financial problems are emerging as the FBI agents conduct an investigation involving Beasley that is focused on wire fraud, gambling, and prop bets. Beasley, who signed NBA contracts worth more than $59 million during his career, has not been charged with any wrongdoing, but the Pistons have pulled back on a 3-year, $42 million offer amid the FBI investigation involving the free agent, according to a source familiar with the offer who requested anonymity because they were not authorized to speak on the matter. This sounds like a lot of trouble. Almost 1 year ago in August, Beasley signed a deal with the Florida firm that provides bridge loans to pro athletes. As collateral, Beasley pledged his current and future NBA contracts, according to a copy of the financial statement obtained by the News. Beasley's most recent financial problems have been the smallest. In March, Beasley was sued in Detroit's 36th District Court for failing to pay $14,150 in rent at the start. Oh my gosh. The historic high rise apartment building in downtown Detroit is owned by Bedrock Detroit, the real estate arm of the business empire built by Dan Gilbert, who owns the NBA's Cleveland Cavaliers. The lawsuit was dismissed in late March. That man's rent was $14,000. I have been with Malik for a long time and I've seen a lot of people around him come and go, but I have stayed away from any of his financial management or mismanagement or decisions he would make with money. Beasley's criminal defense lawyer, Steve Haney, told the news on Tuesday, "I'm his lawyer. I don't get involved in his finances," he added. "You hope to get them around the best business people and planners and management people. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't." This is really sad. I'm not even going to lie to you, bro. This is really sad. I'm not even going to lie to you, bro. I feel for Malik Beasley. Honestly, you don't want anybody to go through this, especially someone who has the means. But this goes back to financial literacy. A lot of these players, they receive, because you say they don't have any financial literacy. Well, no, that kind of changed after probably about maybe 2010, 2015. I don't know. But at some point, the NBA started implementing financial literacy and orientation programs for all the incoming rookies before the draft, after the draft, before the season. They all come up to the NBA offices up in Jersey, up in New York, and they sit and they talk to them and they give them a rundown. They say, "Hey, you're going to get a lot of money. This is what you need to do with it. Get people around you who are smart with money. Understand that you might make a mistake with money, but bounce back." They bring in old veterans. They bring in retired players to come speak to them. And all of these guys, they talk to them until they're blue in the face. So at that point, when you receive all of that and you still go through these type of issues, it's just kind of like, it's really bad and it's really sad. And that's why I always say with money, with lending people money, giving people money, that isn't always the answer. It's like, I wouldn't say that. Lending people money won't solve their issue. Like it's a temporary fix, but the long-term problem, especially if they have a job, if they're already employed, it's never going to change. It's never going to change. That's just the way it is. Zero, what's happening? Zero, it's been a minute since Zero been in the chat. Zero, what's happening? But I am going live like way earlier than I'll usually go live. Zero, let me tell you what's going on, man. So Malik Beasley, he's dealing with his 8 million gambling kind of allegations and things of that sort. According to the Detroit News, they did a story where they found out that he owes a celebrity barber, a dentist, a landlord, a lender, and a marketing firm. And he was also sued back in March for by Detroit's 36th District Court for failing to pay $14,000 and $14,150 in rent to the stock. It's a historic high-rise apartment building in downtown Detroit, and it's owned by Dan Gilbert, the co-owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So it's just like, yeah, he owes a lot of money, dog. He owes a lot of money. Oh, Zero said he been grinding. It's good to see you, my boy. I ain't even gonna lie to you, dog. It's good to see you. It's been a little minute, bro. But yeah, man. He's in a lot of trouble, bro, financially. And that's why I say with the thing of what was it? What was it when people were like, this is Angel Reese? It was the Angel Reese Foundation and Magic Johnson Foundation coming together to provide financial literacy courses to Angel Reese alma mater in Baltimore. And people were like, this isn't the answer. The answer is, they say, sharing the black wealth. Sharing the black wealth is not the answer, because you can't share the black wealth without any type of knowledge, any type of education, any type of financial literacy. And to say financial literacy is a bunch of baloney, no. Financial literacy is important for anyone making minimum wage. Financial literacy is important for anyone making pennies on a dollar. Financial literacy is important for anyone on a college budget. Financial literacy is important for a high school dropout. Financial literacy is important for everybody, bro. Because without financial literacy, dog, like the money is gone, bro. You could be making six figures. I know people who weren't really good with money in college. They got some tech jobs. They making six figures. And them jokers living check to check more than I am. I ain't making no six figures right now. I keep it a beam with y'all. I ain't making no six figures right now. I keep it a whole gangster with y'all right now. As of right now. We'll see when that YouTube money, hitting and so. Like I say, I won't tell y'all, but there will be signs that I'm making money. But anyways, beyond that, it's just like, how are you living check to check? And I'm good. Like I never, never really worried about my bills, never this. Now when I was helping out folks and I was in the process of moving and I was taking care of, saying two separate rents, one in one state, one in another state, I ain't gonna lie, money got a little tight for a second. I'm gonna keep it games with you. But other than that, in my adult life, I've never had issues paying my bills on time, bro. And the reason why is because I just had basic financial literacy, kind of like listening to my parents, listening to my mom, budgeting tips, all of these things, bro. Like without that, it doesn't matter how much money you get. Like my mom could have gave me $100,000. Like say I had a bar mitzvah when I was 15, I was Jewish. And, like we accumulated $20,000. She put it in some CD or something where the money is like no interest and it invests and it just triples and quadruples itself. By the time I'm like out on my own after college, it goes up to $100,000. She could give me that, but without the knowledge, that $100,000 is gone by the time I'm 30. From the time that I finish college to the time that I'm 30, that $100,000 is gone. You know what I'm gonna blow it on? I'm gonna blow it on trips. I'm gonna blow it on women. I'm gonna blow it, bro. I'm blowing it on partying or whatever the case might be, dog. Whatever, because I'm like, oh, I got it, 100,000. Oh, we going out to eat? It's on me, y'all. The bill come out. Is the bill separate or together? I ain't gonna lie. Every time I hear that, it's a little voice in the back of my mind that's like, bro, what if I was just like, it's on me? One bill, like, you want to be kind of doing that, like balling and making sure everybody eat, everybody's good like that. If you live like that, bro, 100,000 is gone from the time you graduate at 23 to the time you turn 30, bro. The problem is with these programs is they don't address the issues unless you have people who care. Black people are the only group that spend money as soon as they get it. I mean, I can't speak for other groups because I just don't know. I just don't know, but I do know as far as the Black community, we definitely lack a lot of financial literacy. And as you said, it goes beyond just the basic, like, y'all not listening in class. It goes to dang the way it's systemic, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like all the things that you're facing, that you're going against, the environments that you were raised in, all of those things play a matter of fact of like, why I don't know money. Like if the only thing I have to look up to of anyone who resembles like they have some money are entertainers and famous people, and is like, say DDG. I know I use him as an example a lot, but say DDG is like the example I look up to as a person with money, and he's constantly flexing cars, mansion. I just gave my mom the mansion. I just gave my brother my old Audi. I just gave so and so $1 million. I just gave mom 100,000 for Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at that and you're like, okay, that's how rich people live. That's how rich people go. Then man, you don't know, because DDG isn't on stream talking about, this is my real estate portfolio. I got a house out in Wyoming. I got some houses in Atlanta. I'm starting to invest that and flip that. I'm doing ABC. I've heard him say he wants to get into crypto a few times, and he tried to dip and dabble into crypto, but he hasn't said anything about it. SSB in the building was happening. You see, it's a little early stream tonight. Early relatively is like 11:47 Eastern time. But what's happening, SSB? But yeah, man, that's the thing about money. It's just like, if the people with money that you're looking up to never talk about the money and how they manage it and the specifics of it, and not just say, invest your money, be smart with your money. How am I supposed to know anything about managing money? This is very sad, bro. Malik Beasley, as they said in this story, has accumulated over $59 million in his career in just NBA contracts, dog. This is ridiculous. $59 million and he can't pay rent. He can't pay his barber. He can't pay his dentist. He can't pay the landlord. He can't pay a lender. He owes money to the marketing firm. That is ridiculous, bro. It's unacceptable. But like I said, it's just once again proof, no matter the level of money you get, if you don't know how to budget it, it's gone. And people always think making more money is the solution to the problem. No, bro. The solution to the problem is you understanding how to manage the money that you already have. You can stretch a dollar to a holler. You in there, you're good. That's all it is. Now making more money, never opposed to it. It always helps, but it's not the answer. It's just a kind of like help to the solution. You know what I'm saying? That's it. All right. Speaking of that, man, SNEAKO gave some real estate advice. And this is what I'm talking about. He did it on stream. Like, imagine if Aiden Ross did this, dog. Like, Aiden Ross, everybody talks about how much money Aiden Ross gets and this and that. Ooh. Aiden Ross is never discussed on stream one of the ways he makes money. Like, he might say, like, oh, crypto, Bitcoin going all the way up. Let's get some Doge. Let's get Dogecoin. Let's get this and that. They don't talk about it on stream. You know what he talks about on stream? Oh, snap. Which two streamers are beefing that I could put into the brand risk boxing promotion? And then we talking about, oh, Reggie said this about DDG. Can you believe that DDG said this about Reggie? Oh, man, they want to fight. Ray wants to fight because he went on Logan Paul's podcast and he said he wanted to do this. Imagine if Aiden was speaking about, okay, I made $100 million this past in 2024 off of streaming, with streaming as a basis. Let me tell you how. Beyond just I made so-and-so on Kick, beyond just, okay, I used that money from Kick to invest it into these properties that continue to bring me in this much a month from passive income, this one, that. The way that I did it was, okay, no cosigner. I'll go to the bank for a loan. I do everything under my business, Aiden Ross LLC, and that this, and that and that this. Like, you know how beneficial that will be for kids, bro, if he said that on stream? Regardless of how you feel about Aiden Ross, regardless how you feel, like I said, we was just talking about SNEAKO SSB the other day, how SNEAKO don't stand on what he says and he flips and he flops. But the fact that he did this on stream, I haven't watched the video yet. It's 4 minutes. It's nearly 5 minutes. The fact that he did this on stream is something that I can really appreciate and applaud and salute as a man, because it's just like, this can help your audience. At the end of the day, this is the reality of the situation, SSB. As you said, people don't realize how bad the economy is for an everyday person. Zero said I should check out Keenan Grace. I appreciate you. I'm gonna subscribe to him right now. Hold on. I'm gonna share the screen. I'm gonna subscribe to him right now. Keenan Grace. I'm subbed up. We here. Keenan Grace, I'm subbed up. Zero, we locked in. But yeah, man. Going back to this, bro. The reality of the situation is a lot of the people on this internet, on your phones, wherever you're going. Reality is the economy is really bad. They're trying to find a way to stay afloat. They're trying to find a way to find multiple streams of income, ways to just survive, right? In the midst of inflation, in the midst of the rise of AI, even Uber drivers, bro. We rode in the little dang thing last night in Atlanta. No driver. The Waymo, we rode in that last night. You see DoorDash with the little robots going around, rolling around town, dropping off the food. It's crazy, dog. Like, they trying to replace just folks that do stuff like that. The side hustles, DoorDash, Uber, they trying to replace them. They trying to replace media people. They trying to replace all of us, bro, with this technology. So it's like, dang, how can we still keep getting? Yeah. SSB said, wait. Zero said, facts. I live in NYC. Y'all know how things looking up here. It's crazy. NYC is like the most expensive place, bro. the most expensive place. But yeah. The reality of the situation is most of these people, most of us, regular folk, common folk, are looking for a way just to get by, survive and live, provide above average or average lifestyle, right? For us and our families. If you're a man, especially, if you're the leader of the household, you especially looking for a way to provide for your families. We unwind on our phones, we go online, we go on YouTube, and for comedic relief or for entertainment, we watch these streamers, we watch these you know what I'm saying? We could watch anybody, content creators, and these folks is raking in. They just like, oh yeah, bought another mansion, bought another car. I had to buy 5 cars. We got Lambo crew. Agent from A&P. Shout out to Agent 00. Agent going to the dang car dealership every single week, trading in cars and getting a new car every week. When you look at that, when you see that Kai Cenat made so much money that he had to buy a whole nother mansion that was about 7-8 rooms in a very affluent metro Atlanta area, and decided, man, what should I do with this? I'll put in 8 of my friends in the room and we'll make a whole nother content house by my own money. When you see people do stuff like that, dog, and you just like, dang, how am I gonna put money on, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I pay my bills. Okay, that's good. All my bills is covered for the month. But my cousin need 100 and my mama need 200 and my old classmate needs 50 and so need 30 and so, bro, it's it's very frustrating and it can be stressful. I get it. So I'm saying, like, if you're a streamer making mad money and you're investing the money and you're showing how to make more money, instead of you showing us, okay, I bought a car, I bought some new jewelry, I bought a new watch. Oh, it's crazy. I came from the hood. I really did it out of nowhere. Every now and again, I feel like you owe it to the viewers and the audience to give them pieces of legit financial literacy tips, dog. That's it. That's all I wanted, man. So something like this, I can respect, because everybody, regardless of what SNEAKO says up here, and I done gave a whole soliloquy about this SNEAKO video before I even watched it. It is dope that he at least puts the information out there and he doesn't gatekeep it. And you don't have to go to Earn Your Leisure. And all due respect to my boy that I just tapped into, Keenan Grace, you don't have to go to Keenan Grace. You don't have to. We can look at it from the people who entertain us every now and again. 19 Keys entertains us but every now and again, what he do? He drop a little, oh man, the money right here. You might want to go here and get the money. He drop a little nugget. And that's all I'm saying, bro. Like, I just want entertainers to, like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you can give a little more game, bro. In details, SSB facts is why financial literacy is as well as basic civics and economics should be taught in schools 100%. These guys are over leveraged and are running through the money. Aiden Ross, Castanat, and top guys will be okay, but the lower level streamers and influencers are feeling it. Zero. They don't want people to know how the system works. So once again, shout out to SNEAKO for doing this. I'm gonna play the video. It's nearly 5 minutes. Let's get into it.
About buying real estate is like how it just removes anxiety away from your life. You could Airbnb them, but I prefer just having reliable tenants, because Airbnb is also a risk. Like, they come and go, and you're gonna have to talk more. There's more maintenance. It's more work. You don't want to do work. You want to use, my advice, you want to use your work and your energy on what you do. And the real estate thing is just like a stress-free way to print cash without paying too much attention. I wouldn't do Airbnb unless you want to focus. If you don't want to think about it too much, which is me, get some nice homes, some cheap condos, like in a nicer neighborhood. They don't have to be big houses that maybe has one tenant or maybe 2 or 3 people living in there, but one person paying rent. And you just let them sit. In the hood is something maybe when you're experienced. Yeah, when you're experienced, but it's still higher risk. So that's why that's my advice. I differ from Myron. And it's going to take a while for it to pay itself back. Like, it's going to take a long time for it to pay itself back. But what you can do also, if you buy like a nice house like that, you could flip the house when it goes up in price. There's a high chance of that. What states do you suggest? I suggest states, like, people, you're going to get different advice. I think you should go where you know. I think you should invest in what you know. So I wouldn't try to, like, say you know a reliable property manager, or so you have a friend or a family member that could oversee it. If you have somebody that could trust that is within like your area, or like like that it's good real estate in that place, then I would do that. I would just go as simple as possible. That's what works for me. People would give you different advice. What's the lowest ROI you would invest in? I mean, but the thing is, like, even though it's going to take a while for the rent money to pay for the house back, you shouldn't think about it that way. You should think about it like you're buying a slave that's going to work for you forever. You're buying a slave, but also you could flip the house. Like, if shit really goes bad, you have multiple houses and you need like a couple $100,000, you could just sell one of the houses. Like, real estate most of the time does not go down in value. It pretty much always goes up in time. It always goes up. For the last, however long. I can't think of a couple of years where it's went down.
Facts, SSB.
So, I live in Toronto. House prices double every 7 years in the GTA. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, around metro area, if you buy it in the suburbs of a really big metropolitan area, it's gonna go up. This year's going down, yeah, in the short term. But if you wait 2 or 3 years, it's gonna go up. Don't think short term with real estate. This is a long term investment. If you think that way, you're going to be good. And I think the same way with crypto. Like, don't think most of the time, like, yeah, you can do meme coins and some fun stuff, but don't think of crypto as a short-term investment. People are stupid when like they're like, oh, my Bitcoin went down. Like, dude, it's going to go up. Patience. That's why you use your extra income. So that's why I like diversifying. And other people are going to give you advice, but that worked for me. And I'm in a much better position this year than I was. Like, if you look at my break down my finances now compared to when I started streaming 3 years ago, right? May 2022. Dude, my life is like completely different now because of that, because I put it in the right places. You gave up on ETH. Don't give up on it. Just put it long term. Bitcoin's the most reliable, obviously. And I could be a little more reliable with my money. There's some stupid things not stupid, but like, for example, I have my crib in Miami that I haven't been in like over a month and it's just sitting there. Right. And that's like money that I could spend on an employee. So it is a lot, but I like stuff that it helps me. I realize my work output is better when I'm stress free. So some people will call that stupid, but it's like, if it does relieve stress, knowing that I have that place when I go to Miami, it's there, having another streaming setup there, having that place there. If I can give it to people if they want, like, that does relieve stress and it helps me focus on work. So that's the way I don't see people who talk about finance talk about that. Like, it is an investment to relieve stress.
Fact.
MJ says, I got to learn how to do real estate. Okay, if you don't have enough money to buy a whole crib all at once, then you could borrow. You can get a loan, but the interest rates are really high right now. The interest rates are like 8%. So right now, I wouldn't, like, a lot of other finance people are going to tell you to get a loan, but the interest rates are like 8%, which is stupid high. You want to get it if it's like 4%, then I can understand. But right now is not a good time to borrow. So right now, buy cash. That's my advice. But again, I'm not an expert.
But yeah, man. This is I don't know, man. I just applaud this. This is 100% like what I feel like entertainers can do. What entertainers can do a little more. Okay. Going back to some of these comments during the video. SSB said, buy crypto and stocks when the economy crashes. See, it's like stocks and crypto and all of that stuff. I feel like it's always like it's like a risk. You know what I'm saying? I think the reason why, and we were speaking about Zero was speaking about kind of investment properties and stuff like that. I believe it was Zero who said that. Or was it SSB? It was SSB. Wait, who was that? Let me see. Yeah, it was SSB when he was talking about the housing as investments and things of that sort. Like, that stuff creates problems and everything like that when it happens on such a mass level. But at the same time, I think the reason why real estate is the thing, a popular thing, is because it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. Like, people are always going to need a place to stay. People are always going to need, especially if you get in a hot area. Like, if you get in an area where there are traveling nurses who are going to be there for like 2, 3, 4 months at a time or semester at a time. If you have people who are like students, who are going to be there for, once again, a semester at a time. If you have people who are just moving to an area, a place where new jobs are booming and everything like that, people are always going to be moving and living in said area. So God made a lot of land. You got to buy it up. He ain't making no more land. So that's why real estate is like a guaranteed thing. Crypto, stocks, everything, it all depends on if it's up, if it's down. You making a very educated guess. I know a lot of people are good at it. They take some losses, but they take wins too. It's just a little too it's not it's not guaranteed enough for me. I feel like no, invest in land. See. So flip gets it. You can sustain on farmland. Oh, are you saying like acres and stuff like that? Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, God made a lot of land. You gotta buy it up. Shout out Gambino. If you have the money to invest in land, you work your way up to that. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Land is way more valuable, especially farmland. Yeah. That's a lot of money. I would not touch crypto or stock. It can if roughly you can lose more and you can get a Trump in office. I have. No, I agree. It's just like crypto and stocks is just too, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you need insider information to like succeed in it. I feel like, or you just, you know what I'm saying? Fun fact: entrepreneurs lose more money than they win. 100%. I could believe that. I mean, shoot, when I found my taxes for my channel and stuff like that, they're like, all right, now it's been a couple years now. Like, the YouTube need to start. I said, okay, taxes, because I write everything off. That's a pro tip. I write everything off. So if you see me ever do like, I guess some random in a different state or something like that, or it's a write off. That's all it is for the business, because it's content and stuff like that for the business. Yeah, man. But yeah, shout out to SNEAKO for doing this. It's really dope. I appreciate it, and I feel like more entertainers and more streamers and stuff should be able to do this, especially in the current climate. I feel like you kind of owe it to the people. That's why you invest in ETFs and you start off with SPY, still skid. You know what, Zero? I might just, you talking me into it. I might just do a little bit, put like a couple, like 100 in it or something. ETC are safe bets. Say that, Zero. I'm gonna make a note of it right now on my phone. ETCs. What they call? Are they called etceteras, or is just ETC? Like, you spell it ETC, or is it etc.? I'll take a note of it right now, and I might put like 100 or 200 and something. Now, if I end up on 500, I'm out of there expeditiously, and I'm cutting my losses. Dang, I just lost $300. I don't know if I can afford that. That's a plane ticket. ETC are safe bets. I'm gonna start there then. I'll start there. We'll see. Oh, it's etc. Okay. Oh, no. He said, you saying no, it's not etc. It's no etc. It's just ETC, or like no X etc. ETFs, ETCs like SPY, still, schedule, etc. ETC are safe bets. But yeah. We'll see. Next, man. Oh, Flip. What's happening, Flip? Everybody welcome Flip into the chat, man. Flip in the chat. Flip ain't been here in a couple weeks either, man. Zero ain't been here in a couple weeks. Flip ain't been here in a couple weeks. We got SSB here. SSB been holding it down. Him and Big Nate been in here like religiously, but I've been going like live when they've been joining like at like 2 a.m. all that. All right, so next, man. Satou Sably. Okay, hold on. SPY, still, schedule, are ETFs. Okay, baby. I got you, Zero. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna enter the journey and stuff. First things first, man. Shout out to Aya. Aya, this one of my youngins. She not one of my youngins, but she's just someone I just seen like hustle as a kid. And I seen her go from a fan to like a legit media member now in Phoenix. And seeing her, like, it makes me happy, man. Shout out to Aya. Aya, man. Okay, this is Satou Sabli. She said whatever the WNBA offered as a CBA on a negotiation table, it was a slap in the face. There's a lot going on with the CBA. I'll talk about it after the video. I'll just play the video and then we'll get into it.
I think we can focus on our players in the union. We got a proposal from the league, which was honestly a slap in the face. And I think we really have to put an emphasis on the players that are in our league right now. But I love to see the league growing. I think, adding these teams in Philly and Detroit, like that's how amazing is that the league can grow. But how cool would it also be to have like a little bit expansion on the rosters? Like, let's focus on the teams that have everything set up right now, and maybe focus on the teams also that find excuses continuously to lack investment into their players before we focus on adding more to the grain of people that can't really be sustained. I think.
Okay, so Satou pretty much said it all here in a condensed 40-second answer and things of that sort. So she's saying it's great. Okay, we're negotiating a new CBA. A new CBA is up at the end of the season, right? Some of the things we've been talking about on the channel the past couple of weeks, right? If you've been paying attention, excuse me. Paige Beckers speaking about the scheduling. The games is too many games kind of too close to each other. And the WNBA is spaced out to where nobody plays on Monday. Okay, you have a couple games on Tuesday, you have a couple games on Thursday, and then everybody plays on the weekend. So you can have a week in the WNBA where you do not play until Friday. But then when you play that Friday, you're going to play on Saturday and or Sunday. That don't make no sense. It's like we playing a whole MLB series worth of games within a weekend, but for the rest of the week, we don't play. There's no consistent playing here. It's not staggered out. It's not, okay, this week we're going to play a game on Monday, then we're going to play again on Wednesday, then we're going to play again on Saturday. Like, that's the NBA, right? You play 3 games a week, 4 games a week, but it's staggered out. You might have a back-to-back on a weekend, a Friday, Saturday, and that's when it gets really grueling and excruciating. And you see with the modern way that the game is played, a lot more high tempo, a lot more athleticism, a lot more ball movement, a lot more scoring and things of that sort. A lot more guys get hurt. How many players have torn their Achilles? What, it feels like 7 or 8. You've seen Dame get cut because of not only their new CBA that CJ McCollum and the NBA Players Association negotiated and came to an agreement with, but also, in addition, just the way that the game is now. He tore his Achilles. Everybody turned their Achilles. Jason Tatum tore his Achilles. Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles, right? Okay. Not only that, because of the CBA, we can't afford to bring in any type of competitive players to make this a competitive squad in the meantime while you heal up. So we're going to cut you. That don't make no sense, bro. So what Satou is saying, what Paige Beckers was saying, okay, we need to do something about the scheduling. You want to expand the season? You want to go from 38 games to 40 games to 44 games within the span of the last 3 years? Okay, we need to play on Mondays. We need to play on Tuesday. We need to stagger this thing out. Because it's playing all the it doesn't go. Zero said it's all about scheduling with the networks. Players are more physical in the 90s and didn't deal with as much injuries because in the 90s the game wasn't as fast paced. Zero. Like, I remember I interviewed Ben Wallace a couple years ago, and I just asked him. I said, "Does it irk you when you're watching the NBA today and you see the final score is like 120 to 125?" He said, it irked me back when teams used to score more than 75 points. And I was laughing, but he was serious. Like, he had a serious face on the whole time, man. And that's just the thing of it. Like, yeah, the 90s were more physical, but it was a slower half-court game. This game now is threes. The center shooting the 3. Joel Embiid, the reason why Joel Embiid is never going to play a full season is because he's like Shaq size, but he can dribble. He's out on the perimeter. He's driving. He's slashing to the lane. He's cutting on back screens. Like Shaq wasn't doing all that. Shaq was down low on the post, and that was it. So it's, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Players are doing more than what's asked of their position. 100%. There's no traditional roles now. It's positionless basketball. And that's the reason why everybody keeps getting hurt. So what the WNBA is saying is essentially what the NBA players are saying as well. We need to cut down the season. In the NBA, they're like, we need to cut down the season. In the WNBA, they're like, okay, if we're going to do 44 games, if we're going to do 40 games, if we're going to keep making the season longer, we need to just stagger out the games. We don't need to be playing all the dang games on the weekend so you can sell more tickets. SSB, you good, bro. You good. We're not doing that. We're not going for that, bro. So we need to stagger out the games. And also, I hope everything's good. I hope everything's good. We need to stagger out the games. Also, we need to expand the rosters to 15. Because if you have 12 players and you got a 7-person roster, seven-person rotation, we only have 5 players to really play with as a third string kind of backups, other backups. If anybody in this 7-player rotation gets hurt, we digging into this fountain. Okay, that's one other. So now we got 4 players left. Now it's 2. Now you keep about 1 or 2 players who's never going to play. We got to dip into this fountain of the 1 or 2 players if we have 3 injuries. If we have 3 injuries, we only have 2 more available players in addition out of this 7-player rotation. That's not sustainable, bro. Especially if we're going to continue expanding the season from 38 games to 40 games to 44 games, and we're playing 3 games in 4 days. That's not sustainable. That's not sustainable. They don't need to cut down the season. They need to fire Silva and Engelbert. Hey, man. Shout out to Kathy, bro. Shout out to Kathy. Hey, that's what Zero's saying. That's what the fans saying, Kathy. Yeah, you know what I mean? Hey, I seen today, I think it was Sophie Cunningham saying she was dissing Detroit about expansion. Yeah, she was like, see, that's a whole nother thing, bro. That's a whole nother thing. I was debating on that, whether I wanted to make that a whole topic, but I'll just discuss it real quick right now. I think it's whack when people diss cities that they're not from or they never lived in. I think it's whack because it's just like, until you go there, until you give it a chance, you can't diss it. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna diss something that you never gave a chance? You know, it's like, in my career, I moved around a lot within the South. And it's like, I had to learn how to have an open mind. Because if I go to Mississippi, like, man, Mississippi, man, Mississippi, they ain't got nothing. It's gonna suck. I'm gonna hate it before, during, and after I'm in Mississippi. But if I go into it like, okay, Mississippi, let's see what they got. Shoot, it's a lot of like little gems and diamonds in the quote unquote rough that you can find in Mississippi. It's great parts to everywhere of the country, bro. Every parts of the world, to be honest. It's beauty in everything. You have to be able to see the beauty. And for her to say that from Indianapolis, living in Indianapolis, is crazy, dog. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. You can't choose where you were born to live at as a kid. 100%. 100%. If you from like, this is legit elitist thinking. 100%, bro. It was like this, dog. I remember the first time I went to Chicago. It was probably 2022. Bro, I went to Chicago and I was like, yo, this place is really nice. Like, we downtown, we at the south side by the Chicago White Sox Stadium and stuff like that. Chicago was a really nice city. They had nice food, nice restaurants. The streets looked nice. The downtown was clean. They had nice little parks that were clean. It was a very nice city. The highways were efficient. The traffic had a nice flow to it. The people were kind. It was like Southern hospitality up there. We go into the local businesses to eat. JJ's, World Vegan Cafe, like all the people talking to us. Oh, y'all from Atlanta? We having conversations. People on the street, cool. Yes, of course, it's a city. You got homeless folks, you got people on drugs that's tweaking on the sidewalks. It's like that in every city. But all in all, Chicago was a really cool city. My whole life, especially growing up, I'm Chief Keef's age. So like Chief Keef popped off in high school. We were 16, 15 years old when Chief Keef popped up. My perspective of Chicago was Chirac. The hood, nothing but the hood, nothing but people killing and shooting everywhere. It was not that. And shoot, that just tells you never judge a city before you go. I can't judge Cleveland and say, oh, Cleveland sucks, Cleveland this and that. I've never been to Cleveland. So it just is what it is, bro. Zero said this. CC gets treated like crap by the WNBA. Reese has been balling, no coverage by the WNBA, is a gatekeeper, and the programs are horrible. I'm talking about the games of the NBA and the WNBA. Okay, so Zero. Here's the thing about this. We had a theory, and I was talking to a fan about this last year in 2024 about how, the NBA owns the WNBA. We had a theory that the NBA doesn't want the WNBA to get bigger than them. And that's a whole nother conversation. I think the Caitlin Clark thing is a result of how Caitlin was kind of exalted as the savior, and she got credit for everything. And it's like, you got to think, if you're fighting for something for the past 5 years, 10 years, and you're making progress on it. I'll use the planes, right? The chartered flights, for example. WNBA players were fighting and making progress on chartered flights from like 28, specifically like right around the pandemic, 2019, 2020. Kathy, we working on it. Or Lisa Borders, we working on it. Kathy, we working on it. We're very close to it. And then it gets to, all right, we're probably about 1-2 years away from chartered flights for everybody, because the only reason why we won't do it, we can do it now, but it'll only be for certain teams or certain trips. And we don't want to do that. We want to do that for every game, every team, just like the NBA does. So we're about probably 18 months from that, right? Reality. Caitlin Clark comes in, and she comes in. Brittany Griner comes back from prison in Russia, or she comes back from jail in Russia. She's all of a sudden like more famous than she was before, 10 times as famous as she was before. She's getting harassed in an airport. And Caitlin, being as famous as she was coming out of Iowa, she's getting harassed at the airport. It was then Kathy said, okay, we're going to speed it up. We're going to speed it up. We're going to do what we do, this and that. Woo, woo, woo. And everybody said, thank you, Caitlin Clark, for giving us this. So people being like, thank you, Caitlin Clark, for this. Thank you, Caitlin Clark, for this. Thank you, Caitlin Clark, for this. For the vets and the people that's been working their behinds off to get the WNBA its respect and to get the WNBA its benefits that it deserves and the amenities and all that stuff, and to see it go to Caitlin, they took that out on Caitlin. Caitlin ain't had nothing to do with that, but they took that out on Caitlin. I do think the hate on Caitlin is a little OD, but it's competition. At the end of the day, like, people hate Trae Young, bro. Is it right? No. Zero, you up there in NYC. You know better than anybody else. Caitlin, Trae get hated all the time. As this B said, I don't buy that theory. If anything, the NBA would love the WNBA to be on the same level. Look at men's tennis and women's tennis. Of course, men's is higher, but women's is not too far off. More money across. Let me see. Okay. I get your point, but the WNBA has turned profitable. The NBA and the NBA players are paying for all of that, 100%. Speaking of Trae Young, Giannis might go to Atlanta. See, the thing about the Giannis trade, and I know I'm jumping all over. The thing about the Giannis trade talk to Atlanta, the deal has to make sense, bro. Like, I would get, okay, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu, and Milwaukee. Atlanta has Milwaukee's 2026 first round draft pick, unprotected. You give that back to them, and maybe a couple of the first. I get that deal, 100% get it. But the deals that I'm seeing Zachary Ricochet, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu, and 3 firsts. Heck no. If you do that, the Hawks is gonna be some mid. The Hawks is gonna be like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George on the Los Angeles Clippers. They're gonna be middle of the pack, Eastern Conference. They ain't never gonna do nothing beyond being middle of the pack with two big names. Oh, they almost did it. You know why? Because they have no depth. They have no other talent. They have no other above average NBA talent on that roster if you do that. No, not going, not doing it. Can't do it. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. You say, oh, they got Porzingis. Porzingis gonna play 20 games. Huh? I'm not depending on 20 games of Porzingis, Giannis, and Trey and the College Park Skyhawks to win an NBA championship. That ain't winning no NBA championship, brother. I'm sorry. Unless you're just going to get everybody to agree to sign the vet minimums, it's not happening. I don't buy that theory. Kalen didn't do nothing behind the Clark. The hype behind Kalen didn't do anything. The hype behind Clark is what did it. 100%. 100%. It did a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of like great example. Deion Sanders at Jackson State. Jackson State already had an established football program. They were probably the most storied historically HBCU football program in history of HBCU football. When you're talking about NFL success, everything like that, they have the most Hall of Famers in the state of Mississippi, which is crazy to think about because Mississippi has Jerry Rice, Mississippi has Brett Favre, Mississippi has Ray Guy. Ray Guy and Brett Favre went to the same school, Southern Miss. And to think, and then also Mississippi has two SEC schools, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Jackson State has more Hall of Famers, Pro Football Hall of Famers than all of those schools, right? That's Jackson State before Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders comes, Jackson State has been working on bringing a new practice facility, a new turf field, a new weight room, a new this and that, right? All of those things. And they've been working on it for the past 3-4 years, 5 years. They've been talking about it. You know why? Because Rashad Milligan was writing stories about it. But when Deion came, he expedited that process from like 3 years to like 3 months. And from 3 months to like 3 weeks. So it's like when he left, a lot of people were like, on a wide scale outside of Jackson, were like, Deion Sanders really changed the program. Deion Sanders really changed the game. And that's kind of halfway true. Deion just really expedited a lot what Jackson State already had in motion. So it's kind of like the same thing in the WNBA with Caitlin Clark. It's kind of true. Caitlin Clark's motion and her thing helped expedite what the WNBA was already working on, but the WNBA was already working on that thanks to the players that came before. And the players that came before was like, don't negate our hard work just because, you know, so-and-so, this sensation came through and stuff like that. WNBA players never had this level of intention, so they don't know how to actually talk professionally. It's crazy because I covered a lot of the drama like around the WNBA, around 2020, 2021, and stuff like that on this channel. And I was just constantly saying stuff like that. Like, imagine if this was the NBA, this would be leading. Like a lot of the drama in the W is crazy, dog. And I'm just like, man, like, this would not happen if this was the NBA. Or this would be, imagine how they talked about the brawl, bro. Malice in the Palace. I'll look at that and that coverage and the way that they were talking about those players was insane, dog. Like, you would have thought that Jermaine O'Neal just had a Glock in his back in GTA in his back pocket and just went to the Detroit Pistons fan on the court. That's how they was talking about these dudes. For hitting the fans that was coming up to them and hitting them and try to sucker punch them. They was just hitting the fans back, bro. And they was acting like they committed the highest, larceny felony in the history of crime, bro. So I say that to say, if the WNBA did have the stuff that the NBA was doing and stuff like that, like, it would have been crazy. You blame the college programs for not doing a good job. I think the college programs do deserve a bit accountability. Now, you have to look at this zero. It's 2025. Can't just blame the college programs. You know why? Because in the world of NIL and the transfer portal, A kid don't like, oh, coach raised her voice at me. I want to go to the transfer portal. Oh, coach told me to get back. I'm going to go to the transfer portal. Oh, coach benched me because I wasn't giving full effort defensively. I want to go to the transfer portal. Oh, coach think they could tell me to run through the line on sprints in practice? First of all, we're not 12 anymore. Second of all, I got a photo shoot after practice. I don't want to get too sweaty. I gotta be good for it. It's $120,000 deal. So you know what I'm saying? It's just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? You can't fully blame the college coaches in 2025 because it's like the coaches raise their voice, they try to hold you accountable, and then what happens? The kids leave. Because guess what? Ole Miss and Coach Yo got a bag for me $100,000 right now. Why am I putting up with this? I'm getting $30,000 from the booster club at my school to get yelled at and be told that I ain't ish. And they telling me I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread at Ole Miss with $100,000 attached to it and more PT. And I get a green light. You get the ball. We running the offense around you. We doing everything around you. Man, I'm going to Ole Miss getting that 100,000. Because guess what? On top of that, that 100, the 100,000, everything like that, being able to have a system revolve around me will give me the film and the stats and the numbers I need to get drafted into the league. And that's the ultimate goal, ain't it? So it is what it is. Not my problem. That's society for coddling these people. If they want more money, these are the things that fans look at. But this is what I'm saying. It's not on the colleges. It's not on the college programs. He said, yeah, my uncle Ron Artest. So I've heard of it. Shout out to Harlem. Ron Artest, hey, Metal World P said, I want to coach the Knicks. I could do it for the Knicks. I know I ain't have no experience, but please, I get the Knicks right. Please let me get this job. Jason Kidd begging for the job. It's a lot of New Yorkers begging for that job, man. They should just give it to Mike Malone for real. But they saying Mike Brown making some progress. They saying Mike Brown making some progress. All right, here we go. SSB said the SEC has risen since money came into the college game. You know what I'm saying? 100%. But okay. But back to the original point. If you want to blame the college programs for not preparing the kids for the pros and everything like that, and they act entitled, they act soft, they complaining about this, they complaining about they don't know how to speak professionally. Shoot. What you gonna tell a kid that's making X amount of money? You can't tell them nothing. That's why a lot of college coaches liked when the only time you could pay the kids was illegally under the table. Because you could still tell them something. Oh, Nick Saban said, do I need to take your track hop? Do I need to take your parents' tour? Don't get cute tour. Do I need to take your little brother's scholarship? Your family's a little condo in Birmingham. And do I need to take your track hop? That's what Nick Saban used to say. When NIL came into play, he couldn't say that no more. Because, Coach, I'm sorry. I got to leave practice a little early. I got a shoot with Raising Cane's in 15 minutes. Nick Saban said, I can't do nothing with this, bro. I'm out of here. I'm retiring. It is what it is. Nick Saban's Nick Saban. He's the disciplinary of disciplinaries. He's the respect man of respect men in the coaching game. But when the kid making money, like, and he said, you can't tell me nothing, coach. I got a photo shoot. I got a this, I got a that. Exactly. You know what DDG said when he dropped out? And I know I keep going back to DDG. When he was at Western Michigan, or Central Michigan, I believe. It was Central Michigan University. He said he dropped out because he was making what the professor was making in a month on YouTube. When he made $70,000, $80,000 a month on YouTube, and the professor's making $70,000, $80,000 a year, he said, oh yeah, I'm out of here. And now you got college athletes doing this where they making, like you say, more than the professors. And in some cases, in rare cases, they might be making more than the coach. You know, when you talk about on three and you look at Arch Manning and stuff like that, I don't know if Steve Sarkisian's getting, million, like he probably is because it's an SEC program, but like just say it, man. Big Nay, what happening? We got a full house in the building, man. Zero said NIL agreement should be incentives. SSB said, I love to hear the stories of how they play to get bribed from colleges. Yeah. It's free agency, bro. It's free agency. Like, okay, I'm in the transfer portal. I averaged 17 points my freshman season. Don Staley averaging 100. She offering 100. Gino offering 125. But Seton Hall offering 300,000. And they'll run the offense around me. Shoot, I'm going 300,000. It's a reason why, like, I know Olivia Miles tried to say it wasn't money while she went to TCU, but like, that's a random team to go to, bro. It kind of is, in my opinion, stuff like that. Big Nate said, well, I understand what Satou's saying. She's looking at it from an international perspective. She wants more incentives to say. But all the players are looking at it like, all the players, dog. All the players, they need to expand the rosters for everybody, bro. They need to expand the rosters, and they need to be more considerate of scheduling for players' health, because you protect the players, you protect the product, everything like that. You know, you going to expand to dang 30 teams, match up like the NBA, but if you got 12 players on every team and you get 2 injuries on, it's just going to look like Ring Around the Rosie. We're going to see Eric McDonald on 5 teams in 3 years. That's what it's going to be, man. You say roster expansion, of course, is going to fix a lot of the issues, in my opinion. Yes, of course it is. I don't agree with that, Big Nate. Zero said, or you have to buy talent, then you shouldn't be called a coach. Coaches make players better. But Zero, if you can't keep a team together, you can't keep a team together. If a kid is 5 stars coming out of high school, you get him for a year. I'm LSU, right? I got Garrett Nussmeier coming into his senior season. He's a top 5 projected quarterback to be taken in a 2026 NFL draft. I got Bryce Underwood coming in as a 5-star. He's got to sit behind Garrett Nussmeier for a year. Back in the day, that was no problem. The only person we see really holding it down in college football like that and doing it the traditional way is Arch Manning. And that's probably because Arch obviously didn't need the money. He's Arch Manning. He's going to get paid NIL money just off his name, his last name. It just is what it is, right? So it's like, but in the case of Bryce Underwood and LSU, okay, you're going to sit behind Garrett Nussmeier for a year or two, for a year. And then you're going to start. That's what it was. Bryce was cool with that. Okay, I'm going to pay my dues. I'm throwing up the L's. I'm doing the little photo shoots. But then Dave Portnoy, he's rich. He's got nothing but money. He's got Barstool founder money. He's got pizza review money. He's got all this money, right? Dave Portnoy is bored. He's tired of watching his team not have a quarterback. His alma mater not having a quarterback. What does he say? I'm going to put up my money and I'm going to get a billionaire, Larry Ellison, whose wife is a big Michigan fan and a Michigan alum as well. And we're going to put our money together and we're going to say, hey, Bryce, we got 2-3 mil for you, bro. Come on over here. I know LSU can give you 1 mil, but we can give you 2 to 3. And we can give you equity and your own exclusive line with Barstool Sports. And we can give you a podcast. You ain't even got to show up on a podcast. We got to do this and we got to do that. Man, what did Bryce Underwood do? He flipped his commitment from LSU to Michigan. So here's the thing, Zero. It doesn't matter if you're the best coach in the world. If you can't keep the players long enough because someone outbids you on the transfer portal market, it is what it is. There's no continuity. There's no opportunity to coach up your players. Because as soon as Hey, bro, you need to. I'm hitting the transfer portal. What is you talking about? Montana gonna give me 50,000. So it just is what it is. There are teams who financially can't afford to spend money 100%. And that's just widening the gap between mid majors and the major and the power fives. Should players take NIL sign contracts? Yeah, I think so, bro. I think so. Like, you got to be here for at least 4 seasons. Okay? Every single time. That's what you got to do in the pros. And now since NIL is it can go straight from the school to the player. It doesn't have to go through the booster club. It doesn't have to go through the so and so's, right? Since it's straight from the school to the player, okay, yeah, you need to sign like the pros. I'm gonna be here for 4 years. If a team want to come get me, if you want to enter the transfer portal, you got to give the school back 100,000, or say you sign for $1 million. If I sign for $1 million, you got to give the school 700,000 if you want to enter the transfer portal. It's 700,000 to enter the transfer portal, and then your next school is gonna have to give us the remaining 300. That's what it needs to be, bro. And that's gonna cut down on these kids hopping from school to school, just money laundering and everything like that. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not against anybody getting their money. Get your money. You know what I'm saying? Get your money. A lot of these kids, they won't have the opportunity to feed their families off of their talent. It's not guaranteed for them to feed their families deep into their 30s of, with the long professional career. All right. Everybody's not afforded that luxury. Everybody isn't going to be afforded that luxury. Get your money while you can. But at the same time, let's make it fair for these college programs to remain competitive and to have some sense of continuity and allow coaches, as Zero says, to coach. Speaking of Dave Portnoy, was that him that got a pizza slapped in his face? No, that wasn't Dave Portnoy. That was some random white guy that looked like Dave Portnoy. It was funny, though. It was funny, but that was not Dave Portnoy. NIL deals should be based on contracts with the school. I agree with that. There has to be some type of I don't think it could just be a free for all. And they opened it up to be a free for all. And I get it. I think it's better than the kids not getting paid at all legally. But there has to be some type of regulations to it to kind of tame stuff. Because if not, kids just jumping from school to school and, don't let you have, entering school in 2020, 2021 and have a COVID year. Now you're going, okay, I got an injury red shirt. I got a COVID year. I got a academic year. I got a personal reasons, mental health. I left after 2 games, so I got a mental health red shirt. Now you 30 years old, 29 years old, talking about Raising Cane's, home of the LSU Tigers. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just crazy, bro. You looking crazy, in my opinion. That's just how I feel about NIL and the whole thing. So yeah, went from Satou to NILs and everything like that. But Big Nate, your school rich. Your school rich, man. Big Nate's school is Maryland. They ain't got to worry about this. Man, y'all got Scott Van Pelt, bro. Y'all are rich. Y'all got Scott Van Pelt. Y'all got Stevie Franchise. Y'all got Alyssa Thomas. Y'all are rich. I still think depending on the school, small, medium, conference, you're at a disadvantage because financially you're not on the same level 100%. You should always have options if basketball does not work out. These kids think sports or music is the only lane, and that sucks. That's what we was just talking about, Zero. What were you just talking about with the SNEAKO? I said, salute the SNEAKO for doing this, regardless of how you feel about SNEAKO, because kids need to see that. Like, imagine if I'll say Kai Cenat, just to switch it up. Imagine if Kai Cenat did a thing of like, hey guys, I made 100,000. Kai making more than 100,000, but say he made 100,000 off a stream. I feel like that's more realistic. I made 100,000 off the stream with Kevin Hart and Drewski. This is how we decided to divvy up the money. And you say I used 10,000 to go back into my streaming to pay for a streaming backpack. I paid so and so thousand. If they did that, then I feel like kids would be in a lot better position as opposed to I want to be like Kai Cenat. I want to play basketball. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because then what happens with the kids? He said, yeah, I agree. Because then what happens with the kids? You 23, your career is over. You use all your COVID years. You use all your red shirt and mental health years. And now you're like, dang, who am I as a person? I'm nobody because I didn't get drafted. You don't need to feel like that at 23. You 23 years old. You ain't even 25. You done gave up on life. Man, please, bruh. And where did that come from? When you grew up, the only thing you seen, the only way to quote unquote make it was through entertainment and sports. I hear everything that Satou is saying, but at the end of the day, I just want to make sure that they're organized and what they want. I believe they'll get a deal done. Yeah, for sure. I ain't gonna lie to you because, but it sounds like the basic kind of needs and wants are out there. Higher team salaries, expanding the rosters, roster expansion over team expansion, and you know what I'm saying. All of these things, you know what I'm saying, for sure. But yeah, like you said, they need to come with a concise plan written down. I think this answer, 40 seconds, encapsulated a lot of what she wanted. Elevator pitch. SSB said off topic, but I think NIL money stuff would get sold so big to a point in the future where big schools could form their own conference. All the biggest schools, regardless of the conference, leave the NCAA. Like Alabama and say Kentucky basketball. I don't know. Like, you think of the most kind of profitable programs in college athletics just come up with their own thing. It can happen. I'm not gonna lie, man. Money changes a lot, bro. Like, money dictates a lot. Like, you see that with this Elon versus Trump thing right now. Like, the fact that this man is even going up against Trump and saying stuff against the president of the United States as a non-politician is just like, money is powerful. 100%. Society forces kids to act grown fast. 100%, bro. 100%. He said some high school programs are paying kids. Yeah, it's been like that. Like, I went to a regular public school. We ain't win no state championships. We only contended 1 year. And we had like kids, like, you know what I'm saying? The coaches buying kids or, you know, renting out condos for their parents and getting kids, you know, their parents' jobs within the district so they could work in. And folks aren't even good like that for real. So I know for sure high school is paying the kids. Even if you do roster expansion, we are going to have cuts. Social media will find a way to overreact about. Yeah, but the roster expansion helps, like, beyond the cuts, bro. Because like you said, like with lists, with cuts, there's always going to be someone who feels like they got the short end of the stick. That's just life. At the end of the day, it's still more healthy and it makes more sense. It's more viable if you have 15 roster spots versus 12. Because like I said, you got a 7-person roster. I said this earlier. You got a 7-person roster, 12 spots. That means it's 5 people out of this well of people that you dig into. You have 3 injuries. You only have 2 players left. That 12 evaporates really quickly versus a 15. I like to see the season start at a different date. When you want to see the season start, I thought, me personally, I say you started, I forgot what I said. I said June, maybe started in Memorial Day. Memorial Day weekend is when the season needs to start, bro. It's a holiday weekend. It's at the end of May. Kids getting out of school. It's the official start of the summer. It gives you unofficial start of the summer. It gives the college kids a month to recover. It gives the people who play overseas or who play off-season basketball a month to recover and get back into the swing of things. At the end of May, you do preseason and you start the season officially, first week of June. I rock with that. You take that all the way to November. While you take it all the way to November, that's when the NBA regular season starts. I like that. Or you can stretch the WNBA season from June all the way to Christmas, because nobody paid attention to the NBA until Christmas anyway. And if you say, oh, it's competing with the NBA, man, they playing regular season WNBA games during the NBA finals, bro. Like, that's not an issue. SSB said all those private schools in Cali, Texas, Florida, etc., they use their resources to get the best players. Always been like that. Always been like that. Do you think these prep schools, especially, it's not about expansion per se, but how it's done and the effects it has. Agreed. And you gotta have the money for it too. Wait, but if you add roster spots, you will have to grow the league first, in my opinion. Your profit margin will have to be higher than it currently is for it to happen. So you're saying you need to have the money to even buy the roster expansions. If that's the case, I don't know. But if that is the case, that's the case. Only because I want the college girls to have some time to finish school, etc., before they start. So you're on the same time with me. Also, Unrivaled needs some time to recover. You're on the same type of time with me. But the WNBA will be competing against MLB, NFL, and NBA. Okay. WNBA is already competing with two of those. The only people they really competing with is NFL. And they already compete with the NFL. They compete with the NFL and the WNBA playoffs. But it's like, it's two separate, you know what I'm saying? Two separate kind of fan bases, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of people that like the WNBA like the NFL. It's like a lot of people that like the NFL don't like the NBA. They don't like basketball. Or they don't like the NBA. Like, they're like, the NBA is phony. I watch college. It's pure. But now that's starting to change, you know, with this money. So, and college betting too. Sports betting, that's a whole nother. College sports was always corrupted, but now it's like all the corruption has kind of risen to the surface, and it's kind of ruined the illusion that college sports is somewhat like kind of pure still. I don't know. I think everything done to darkness will be done to light. College athletics 2025. That's what it is, man. But that's still a market you can add up over time. Rashad, they don't like LeBron. That's the main reason why, in my opinion. You talking about? You talking about? He's talking about people that don't like the NBA. Yeah. A lot of people don't like LeBron. Yeah, but people gonna be crying when LeBron retired. Oh, I miss LeBron. I miss hating LeBron. I miss. We did the same thing when Kobe retired. We was like, dang, I'm gonna miss hating Kobe, bro. I'm gonna miss booing Kobe. He was my favorite op. But that's still a market you're losing, and that can add up over time. Oh, he's saying the NFL, even though I said the NFL is. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I feel like, okay, so I guess I'm trying to think of how to do this, man. I say WNBA season first week of June through November. Right? That's in the thick of the NFL season. So the NFL starts getting good around October. That's when it starts, like Coach said. One coach I covered in Alabama, his name was Coach Story. Shout out to Coach Story. He put 2 kids in the NFL in my time. He said, we want to be playing when that grass turn brown. When that grass turn brown, that's when the NFL and football in general starts getting good. Okay. We'll get out of here in November then. We'll get out of here first week of November. That's when the NBA starts, regular season. And that's when, you know what I'm saying, NFL starts to crank up. We'll go from June to November. It's easy, I feel like. LeBron leaves. Silver leaves the NBA. They need a new direction. Shout out to Adam Silver, bro. Don't forget college basketball. College basketball starts in November. So you get out of there by November. But like I say, no one really cares about college basketball. Like, they have the opening week tournaments, right? The opening week classics where they put good teams against each other. Okay, after that, college basketball gets boring. Well, I wouldn't say boring. College basketball gets to a point where the casual fan won't care again until conference play. The rest of the non-conference schedules, They'll have a big game here and there, but it's not much that people really gonna be caring outside of the diehards of the followers of teams and stuff like that. In that middle, you know what I'm saying, November through so and so. All right, let me go to this SSB thing before I go to Big Nate's schedule suggestion. Do you think the WNBA should have expansion in smaller markets compared to bigger? Like instead of Miami, you do Orlando or Jacksonville. 100%. I think smaller markets will just bring out the fans, bro. Like I look at the NBA, going back to the NBA, bro. OKC's an amazing example, dog. OKC's always had the most passionate fan base, whether or not they were winning or losing, and that's because it was in a smaller market. It was in Oklahoma, bro. I think that's the perfect example why it should be the case. Tennessee should have a team. Tennessee, they're the home of women's basketball. They host the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in Knoxville, Tennessee. Why is there not a team in Tennessee? Tennessee kicked off the whole spark of women's basketball with Pat Summitt. God rest her soul. Why is there not a team in the state of Tennessee? There needs to be a team in the state of Tennessee. All right. Big Nate says 50 games in the season. I want to see that. 12 minutes a game. Just me. 12 minutes a quarter? Man, heck no. If you do 12 minutes a quarter, you definitely need 15 players on a roster. 15-minute quarters or 12-minute quarters. The biggest issue is we need to address the teams, owners that financially afford but don't have the money. I'm not understanding why they don't sell the teams. Because of power trips, bro. If you own a team, like a part of saying, I'm the owner of the Dallas Wings, like, it's the status, bro. You're not going to want to give that up. It's ego. You want to give that? I ain't want to go and give that up. People hold on to being like the dang city parks and rec, director. And salute to all my city parks and recs director. Everybody going to want to, you know what I'm saying? The refs need to be better. 100% agree with that. The refs in women's basketball in general, not just the WNBA, but in college and the SEC, terrible, dog. The refs do need to be better. I agree with that. Refs need to be better. I think a lot of this comes back to money. But yeah. So yeah. Let me see what SSB say. Sports teams are great write-offs. Oh, you just said some SSB. Nobody is investigating a sports team and their finances. It's I ain't even gonna go there. Bad officials teach bad officiating 100%. Players need to focus on improving the fundamentals. That I don't know if I can agree with. Not in the W, bro. Not in women's basketball. I feel like women's basketball is like fundamental kind of 101 just because you're playing below the rim. Of course, players like Caitlin and Flage and these new age players, Paige, they can get a little flashy, but at the end of the day, women's basketball is pretty fundamental as it gets. The NBA, men's basketball, they need to focus on improving the fundamentals. That's why the kids overseas, the Zachary Richaches and the Nikola, that's why the big three in the NBA right now are all international players, bro. Because in the league, in America, what we doing, zero? Get it. Him, cross, tween, hezzy. That's what we doing in America, bro. Oh, snap, he got him. In international, what they doing? Boring layup lines, boring dribbling drills, boring go back and forth, up and down the court. And now what's the result? The big three in the NBA to replace LeBron James are all not from America. It just is what it is. We got to deal with that. Now, on the women's side, they got it, bro. They have it. They're good. But on the men's side, yeah, they need to work on the fundamentals. If you're talking about missed layups, it's really like a lot of it is kind of like anatomy and things of that sort, strength, perception. Like sometimes stuff just be off. I'm not gonna lie to you. Trust, I have a long list of complaints about the NBA. They play below the rim, but they have bad footwork and like upper body control. Is that something that can be improved, or is that genetics? Because some of it might just be, you know what I mean? It is what it is. If you look at the top 50 players in the world, they are mostly American. It's just the top tier that's not American. This can be changed though with coaching. Raw talent in America is still a top. That's what I'm saying. That's what we were saying, SSB. That's what we were saying. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? It's like what Zero is saying. Okay, so Zero saying shrimp training, a lot of that can change. Strength training, a lot of that can change. But going back to what SSB is saying, that's what we're saying with the W. It's like the talent is there, like they got it. But to sharpen up this and that and this and that, bro, it comes down to basic fundamental training, dog. Excuse me. It comes down to fundamental, but they can be worked on. You know, it's like we skip the fundamentals. Is like AAU is just press, run, and now thanks to analytics on the NBA and in the WNBA, now we're seeing get up as many threes as possible. We want to shoot more threes. We want to shoot threes. Like in Atlanta, they got Quinn Snyder and Carl Semesco. Like both of them, it's just all like, let's get up as many threes as possible. There's no such thing as a bad three. Like keep getting up threes because statistically speaking, the more threes you get, the more points you're gonna score, and you can outscore the other team. Like that's like their entire philosophy. That just is what it is. Zero said American basketball is more athleticism than skill. Okay, that's an interesting point. Athleticism versus skill. I think kids do have skill, bro. Like when you look at Jeremiah Fears, I think that's a great example, right? Oklahoma and now going to the Pelicans. They said that joker got the best handle since Kyrie Irving. That's skill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the kids got handles. You know, you watching the 7-footers, you watching Wemby dribble a basketball, and it's like that's skill. I think you could argue the most skilled era of basketball history. You can argue that, you know what I'm saying? So, I think American. Oh, okay, Wemby. I guess that was a bad example. That's a Frenchman. But you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Steph Curry and Kyrie. Thank you, SSB. Like those guys are pure skill. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like 33% shooting from three is 50% of 2-pointers. Dang, I did not think about that. I did not think about that. It's probably like a cliche too in basketball. I did not think about that, man. Shout out to Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard, that joke shooting 43% from three. It's crazy. All right, I got to get out of here soon because I'm getting dizzy. So I'm going to go to Julie Vanloo. Julie Vanloo, we going to go there. This is one of the things with the WNBA, bro. This situation right here, bro. So Julie Vanloo, she got cut again from the Golden State Valkyries. And she did it after she came back from Europe and competing in the Euro Championships and stuff like that. 18-hour flight just to find out you've been cut. Boy, man, stop playing with me right now. I'm still showing up to work. I don't know if y'all watch Jeff T podcast and never seen him talk about Ivan Johnson on the Hawks. Ivan Johnson, one of the realest NBA players ever. He played with a grill in his mouth. They asked him, they said, bro, how you get the call to play for the Hawks? He said, I was actually, about to get my CDL, just become a truck driver or something like that. Like, that's what people in my neighborhood do. And then he said, they said, how you feel going against these big players? He said, man, to be honest, it's not even that big of a deal to me because I don't watch basketball. He said, I know like Kevin Garnett and LeBron and guys like that, but that's kind of it. Like the rest of these guys, I don't know. Carly Samuelson found out she was traded while on the plane 100%. Was good. What good is handles if you aren't creating space and creating easy shots? Not many players in the NBA can do that. 100%. It was somebody I was watching dribble. They were doing a lot of nothing, bro. And I was like, I think it was a woman player. Like it was a woman. And I seen it recently. It was oh, that's who it was. It was okay. I'm not going. It was a college basketball player who also you know what I'm saying, just has an internet presence. And I seen their workout and they were doing like a lot of behind the back, tween, this and that, but they were going in a straight line. I'm like, you didn't do nothing. You ain't moved nowhere. DeMarcus Cousins found out he was traded while having media during All-Star weekend. I remember that. Again, how many players did Golden State lose for Eurobasket? They lost like 5. That's why they signed all them players. And when they signed all them players, they knew that eventually them joggers were going to get cut again. Shout out Breezy Hall. You know, we wish you the best of luck, everything like that. But yeah, they kind of knew Aerial Powers. Get rid of the long nails. But Julie Vanloo, she said this 2 days ago, I became a European champion. 24 hours later, I was weighed by the Valkyries. After traveling 18 hours back to the Bay, I missed the fan ceremony and the chance to share that special medal moment with my family and friends. Honestly, that stung. I understand it's a business, but nothing prepares you for the loneliness that comes with getting cut. It feels like the whole world suddenly crashes on your shoulders. What hurts most is everything I'll miss. The team, the fans, Bahalia. From the very first game, the Valks fans showed me nothing but love. I saw people wearing my jersey. I felt the energy every time I stepped on the floor at the Chase Arena. The Bay Area was truly my vibe. This was one of the most amazing experiences of my life, and I wore the jersey with so much pride. Thank you, Golden State Valkyries, for the opportunity. I'm not going to sit here and be sour. That's just who I'm not. That's just not who I am. I'm a grateful person and I lead with love. That's what I'm all about. I've come a long way from dreaming of being in this league and hoping one day I get drafted. And I will never forget you drafted me and believed in me. When it hurts this much to be waived, it means something truly special to be a part of, and I'm forever grateful for that. To my Valkyries teammates, I have tears in my eyes writing this. This team is filled with incredible, beautiful souls. Oh man, this hurts. Jeez. It's deeper than rap. Goodness gracious. Each of you has a part in my heart. I'll carry this experience with me always. Right now, I'm overwhelmed with emotion and just need a little time to process it all. To everyone who's reached out, thank you. My phone is literally exploded. I'll respond when I can. But please know your messages have helped me and keep going and keep believing in myself and in new beginnings. All right. Where we at? Like Kayla Thornton was saying, let it all work out. Trust the process always. And you all know I never quit. Winking emoji. Oh, she didn't wink. She just looked like this. Anyways, thank you to everyone with love. Julia Vanloo. Love you, Sugar Mama, from Monique Billings. Kate Martin, my girl for life. She'll be on the roster soon, Las Vegas. Traded like this is crazy, but it's great TV. See, that's another issue that has to be talked about. They had the most players that left. I need bodies too. Defensively, Julie is a liability. Julie Vanloo. Hold on, let me get some water, bro. Yeah, that's tough, but that's an emotional thing, bro. Emotional statement. Deeper than rap. She pinned it very well. Very well. I wish the best for her in her career moving forward and things of that sort. What Zero say? If they're going to cut sometimes, I feel like that's something that should be discussed with the player because it doesn't hurt, but it's embarrassing as well. 100%. Nalissa got traded. She didn't even know she was on the market. Like, that's crazy. Like, I'm here with my girl. We just got here a month ago and I got traded. What the heck? What the hecky? Another example. Dame. Chris Haynes said Dame didn't know. Dame found out on Shams just like we did. Dame found out from Shams' tweet. But somebody else said it's kind of like Dame kind of knew. But either way, everybody else said Dame is ecstatic about getting the chance to sign with whoever he wants to sign with. I think it'd be something. Julie's very cool. I got to interview her last year. Oh, she seems nice, bro. Like, this is a nice thing. Seem like she give you some answers that's not like yes, no. Maybe so. Seems like she knows words, like she reads. That's always good. And people that read because they usually have words sometimes with verbalizing and being able to give you good answers and stuff. Dame to the Wizards. Nate, everybody can't go to the dang Wizards. Y'all got 8 guards already, bro. Y'all got CJ, Malcolm Brogdon. I'm about to say Jordan Poole. Who else y'all got as guards? I got a gazillion. Bub Carrington. Y'all got a bazillion guards, bro. It's over with. Y'all guard central. You and the Phoenix Suns. Y'all all guard central, bro. Y'all just got 20 guards. All right. Black mayors are getting the crime rates down, man. According to these Twitter posts. Now, I have to look this up to get it right and things of that sort. Like, that's just a responsible thing to do. But they're saying that the crime in Jackson has gone down 40% under the former mayor. They call him Mayor Drake because he looked like Drake. But that's my dog, Chumba. That's my dog. Anyways, former Mayor Jackson. He just got voted out, though. Yeah, he lost. And the new mayor was like, what did he say? The new mayor said, oh, yeah, a lot of people around here think I went to JSU. I didn't. I went to school in Kentucky, but I let them believe it to win the election. That's crazy. And he just admitted it. He said, let a man dream. LOL. Only person that knows every trade around him is LeBron. You're going to get us in trouble, Zero. Hey, LeBron, Rich Paul. I ain't say that. I ain't say that. That was Zero that said that on here. I ain't say nothing. Because, it's a whole thing about the AD situation. And LeBron said, I found out with everybody else. I ain't even touching that, brother. But this is, I believe this is Mayor Randall Woodall over there at Birmingham. They said no news outlets are talking about how these 2 black males have achieved record low unalivings in their cities. This is Birmingham, Alabama, and this is the Baltimore mayor and things of that sort, the young guy. Places that have economic growth and development grows, the crime starts to go down. More jobs, more opportunities, etc. 100%, bro. 100%. Most crime happens because people don't have money. What? You steal, you shoplift because what? Because you don't have enough money. You break into somebody's house because you don't have enough money. Brandon Scott. Thank you, Nate. Appreciate that, Nate. Brandon Scott, the young guy. But yeah, most crimes happen because you don't have enough money, bro. More jobs, more opportunities, more money, less crime. And more activities as well. Give them something to do. Because this is like a teenager, they might not even need the money. They just got bored. And they found breaking into houses exhilarating. You know what I'm saying? Or stealing exhilarating, whatever the case might be. Doing hood rat stuff. I like to do hood rat stuff on my friends. But if this is true, 100% salute to them. All 3 of them. In Jackson, Baltimore, and Birmingham. The issue in Baltimore is that the neighborhoods need to be fixed. The school system needs a major overhaul. I can imagine the DMV needs a major overhaul and a lot of stuff. It's a black area. The DMV is a black area just in general, you know what I'm saying? He said Scott promised when he was elected that he would get crime down, and he did. Salute to him for that, bro. 100%. That's not an easy task, bro. Trust, it's not an easy task. But I want to salute these brothers and shout out these brothers for sure. Oh, isn't that the DMV? What's the DMV in Maryland? Just PG County? So Baltimore is out there. It's too far out there. Isn't that PG? Because I'm trying to think. If you get a job in Hagersville, which is like, the place where I applied when I was coming out of college, didn't get the job. My boy got the job. Oh, I ain't even gonna go on that. My boy got a job. Salute to my boy. That's where he started his career. Isn't Baltimore like an hour away from DC? Oh no, I'm from Atlanta. Nate, explain why Baltimore is not the DMV, please. As people who's not from the DMV. The more economic growth, the more it'll breed corruption. You got to improve education as well. 100% zero because you got 100,000, but you don't know how to do it. Like if you are 2 hours away from a metro area, people will claim that city. So SSB saying it still is. Nah, I can't roll with that. Because being from Georgia, if you from Macon and you talking about Atlanta, no, buddy. You cannot. Macon, you need to claim Macon. You need to claim Middle Georgia. Laser Dim. You need to claim Cordell, Georgia, Laser Dim. All right, so Nate says PG County, parts of Anne Arundel, Monk County, and then there's DC, and then parts of and most of Northern Virginia. Over my head, man. Hey, rest in peace, Lil Zelly, man. Shout out DMV legend, underground DMV legend, Lil Zelly. Shout out to Foggy Raw. Shout out to Rico Nasty. Shout out to Kilo Letitia. Shout out to Corday. Who else we shouting out? DMV got a lot of folks. Shout out to Wale as always. You can take a train from Baltimore to DC, but Baltimore is still a charm city. Yeah, okay, so it's not the DMV. The bottom line is these black mayors done got the crime down. Salute to these young black men, things of that sort. I need to look up this Jackson fact before I just run with it because someone on Twitter said it. Jackson crime down. It's true. Jackson sees 40% reduction in. Shout out to Jackson. It's on the Clarion Ledger. They said, I seen someone say the Clarion Ledger didn't run it. That's my former employer, if you guys were wondering why I said that. Oh, who else? Oh, they down in Chicago? It's Chicago. They down in Milwaukee? Dang, another one. Oh, this is the whole thing. Oh, wow, this is a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect all this. Cleveland, Ohio. Bro, these are like cities considered dangerous. Okay, Atlanta, Andre Dickens. Shout out to Dre. Okay, I ain't gonna lie to. Okay. It's some stuff going on in Atlanta with like, you know what I'm saying, pushing folks out, things of that sort. Cause that's my city, that's my city. Dre from the city. Dre's actually from the city. I'm from the outskirts. Spent a lot of time in the city. Halfway in the city, halfway on the outskirts, but spent a lot more time in the outskirts than the actual city. Dre from the city. It's a lot of pushing folks out and stuff like that to make the stuff look good, man. You know what I mean? Now what cities went up? I don't know. We got to see. Okay, so now they got Philly is down. Dang, Philly down? Shout out to Sherelle Parker. In Los Angeles, Karen Bass, she just got inaugurated about like a year and a half ago, it feels like. I'd love to see where the statistic came from about Jackson. See, they had the same reaction as me, bro. They like, hold on now. Y'all so committed to negativity. Hey, look, it's just like, bro, you got to think, dog. Like, I lived in Jackson, like I said, as you guys know. I said it about 3 times on this thing. Like, it just is what it is. But yeah, shout out to LA getting it down. Philly getting it down is huge. Chicago, Cleveland, these are dangerous cities, bro. The only bad side is the suburbs have the curb of some of the issues 100%. Getting rid of some of the illegal behave zero. You don't called out LeBron. You don't come on zero. Let's behave now. Jeez Louise, man. They down in Chicago. It's Chicago. Milwaukee. That's dope, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't know that. Okay, now SSB said, where did they go up? Crime goes up. Let me see. Crime goes up. Let me see. Cities where crime went up. 2025. 2020. I'll put 2020. Should I put 2020? I'll put 2025. All right. Oh, there's an actual website on this. Okay. Key takeaways. Join our mailing list. No. Immigrants not going to Jackson, Mississippi. SSB said, "Clock it." Nah, 100% though. I don't know that many Mexicans. I don't know if there is like many Mexicans in Jackson, bro. It's just white folks and black people, bro. And Jackson in particular is black, but like on the outskirts, it'd be like a lot of white people in Hinds County, especially the north side, like the north side of Hinds County, Madison and everything like that. Madison, Germantown. Germantown is where Madison Booker's from. Maddie Booker. Shout out Maddie Booker. But that's a real nice area up there. Brandon, all those areas, those are real nice. That's where a lot of the white people stay in that area, in Metro Jackson and stuff like that. They scared of Jackson. They make a bunch of jokes about Jackson. It's crazy. But I rock with Jackson, bro. I always respect Jackson. Any place I lived in, I respect, bro. I promise y'all. Hold on. They got all these graphs, the introduction, the thesis, I'm trying to see the cities. Where the cities with the highest rates. Okay, here we go. We got it. Okay, so is this positive? Like the rates went up? Look, I care about our people, Americans, and more so black people. Glad they doing their part. Oh my goodness. 0, 0. You seen them jump me in the comments of that one video where I said, is it our I ain't touching that today. Truth be told, places like Aura, Colorado got flooded with immigrants and had to dang near zero before a crazy increase. It's just like, this was a land, first of all. Like Native Americans, colored people. Like in North America, it's Mexico. So it's like Mexicans was here. Natives was here. Whether you think black people are natives or what, like Natives Americans was here, bro. So I guess if this means it's going up, Austin, Texas went up. Colorado Springs went up. A lot of white cities off top. And I'm sorry, that was so like kind of just uncut the way I said it. Lincoln, what is this? Lincoln, Nebraska? What is this? What is this city? Lincoln what? Lincoln, Nebraska? Louisville went up. Okay, that's a black city. Memphis, that's a black city. That went up. Nashville went up a little bit. That's a white city. New York went up a little bit. Dang, Philly went down. Phoenix went down. Richmond went down. Rochester went up. Lincoln, Nebraska. Okay, thank you. St. Louis went down. St. Louis. Okay, St. Louis. Syracuse went up slightly. Washington went up slightly. Hey, shout out to all the cities getting that crime down, baby. Huh? Annual rates. Jeez Louise, look at this from Detroit. Love myself. You gotta listen to that new Larizi. It's not Lou. It came out like 9 months ago. These places have more population as well. 100%. But shouts out to the cities once again, getting down to crime, everything like that. Mexicans are mixed. But a lot of the Mexicans, bro, they from here, bro. They get on a base level of it. Me personally, it's just like what's right and what's wrong. If I think something is right, if I think something is wrong, I'm gonna speak up for it. I think a lot of people are doing like the strategic, well, what have you done for me? You ain't doing nothing for me. I ain't doing nothing for you. I think if it's wrong, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. That's just how I feel. Because it's like, I would want people to move that way. Fentanyl going into the suburbs. Fentanyl been in the suburbs. Hard drugs, like on the outskirts, it's been a problem. Been a huge opioid issue in those places, bro, for sure. But yeah, shout out to these black cities, especially with these black mayors getting the crime down. And shouts out to Isaias Guthrie Stylist, D&J Trenton, where she says Jackson State is my HBCU. Thank you for posting this. I appreciate that. They needed that shine. All right, next thing, man, is the Diddy verdict, and that's it. We get out of here. This 2-hour stream. Gosh, Lee, W stream, man. W chat tonight. I gotta go to sleep. I got sleepy. I'm glad I started early. We going back to Lauren, as always. Lauren's held us down the entire Diddy trial. W Lauren. Here we go, man.
Of deliberations in the United States versus Sean Combs, and I ran out to do a stream with academics, and I really thought we wouldn't get anywhere close to a verdict until tomorrow, but the jury gave the judge a note around 4 o'clock. I left the stream, I rushed back, and it turns out they said they were unanimous on counts 2 through 5.
Oh, snap.
They had verdicts for those. They were hung on 1, which is RICO. And the government wanted the judge to issue a partial Allen charge, which would make the jury continue to deliberate, until they had a verdict. But the defense was like, let's not, make it all official. Let's just let them continue deliberating. And also, the government wanted to ensure that the jury knew that it was a possibility for them to return on Thursday, which is July 3rd. The court itself is technically closed on the Friday. 3rd and the 4th. And,
they close
they can come in Thursday,
but
they, the court needs to know so they can get the proper resources, the federal marshals, whoever, the guards.
So they low-key got to get this thing done on by Wednesday. Wait, today is Wednesday. I'm tweaking out. So they low-key got to get this thing done like today.
So for a minute, I wasn't sure if they were going to read a partial verdict or the partial verdict, but they didn't. So the jury then sent a note that they were dismissed for the day and they will come back to deliberate tomorrow. Who knows? I think we might get a verdict tomorrow, like I initially thought. I mean, we'll see. But wow, now I'm heading back to academics to join that stream.
That's crazy, man. What y'all thinking, bruh? Look, SSB, they said unanimous already. Unanimous for counts 2 through 5. So what they need, it's one more count that they need to come to an agreement on. Man, boy, what? You may be looking at Theo getting resolved by Monday. Oh my gosh, bro. Like I say, if you got all the counts agreed upon unanimously, except for a couple of the counts, right? Maybe even one, bro, they might get this thing done by today because they might be motivated to get it done before the holiday, right? You get it done before the holiday, shoot, Puff. I don't know, man. Because coming to an agreement on that many counts and unanimously that quickly, it could mean something. It could mean something bad. It could mean something good. It could mean like, oh yeah, he didn't, he was just on some freaky stuff. He wasn't no, he wasn't no trafficker. He's still looking over 20 years to life. Gosh, Lee. Diddy might get some things dropped in the end, but he's cooked. Doom. But it's getting real close, man. Like I said, people talking about, y'all notice how little coverage the Diddy trial got? 100%, bro. I felt like the Diddy trial got a lot of attention that first day, and then it just kind of dropped off, bro. Shout out to Lauren once again. She was one of the few consistently reporting it outside the courthouse every day. It was a lot of people that was there at the beginning that just slowly dropped off one by one. And it's cool, you know what I'm saying? Get your little reporting on, but dang, I feel like if someone gonna report it, especially if you're a reporter based out of New York, report it, bro. Report it every day. But people weren't talking about it this much. It flew under the radar. My views on the Diddy stuff ain't been getting as much as a lot of the other court cases and news stories and things that I've done multiple videos on and kind of mini series on and stuff like that. Diddy ain't been getting nowhere near that. Like, so I don't know. But when they announce the verdict and he get his sentence, it's gonna explode on the internet, bro. It's gonna break the internet, dog. Zero said they're gonna get it done by July 4th. That's what I think too. They want to get it done before the holiday, dog. So they might get it done today and then sentence him next week. He's gonna break the internet, bro. I think either way. Because he's gonna break the internet if he gets off, and then he's gonna break the internet if he's found guilty. Because people won't be like, dang, Diddy about to go to prison. And then the other half gonna be like, Diddy free Diddy, free Diddy. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be crazy, bro. But we'll see what happens. Just something to look forward to. 2-hour stream, man. Tisa had been there since the beginning. Tisa Tells. Shout out to Tisa Tells. Hold on, let me see. Let me see if I can find Tisa Tells. Tisa Tells. Dang. Shout out Tisa Tells. Y'all be putting me on to some channels. I don't know these folks. I don't watch a lot of commentary channels and stuff like that. Because I don't want my opinions to like rub into theirs. And then I'm just saying what they're saying. I try to like keep it original. 100. Shout out to Tisa Tells. Diddy did it. I believe it because he's always been suspect even back in the 90s. Zero, you will know more than us. You up there in New York. We gonna see what happens, bro, with this thing. But yeah, man, as always, I'm about to get out of here. Like I said, I'm getting dizzy. I'm about to pass out. I got to put my clothes in the dryer. They've been sitting in the wash, like done for like the past hour. So I got to get that out of the washer. Hope they ain't sour or nothing like that. Put it in the dryer, finish laundry. I'll see y'all boys tomorrow, man, for sure. But my issue is they aren't looking at Clive Davis. Let me see who Clive Davis is. Clive Davis. Remind me of that video of Travis Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes' wife, the record producer, being like fried chicken. And he's like, "What's my favorite food? Fried chicken." He's like, "It's actually tacos." Diddy. Let me put in Diddy. See what pops up. Clive Davis. Bad Boy. Oh, the other guy with Bad Boy and stuff like that. But yeah. I'm gonna get out of here. Because I'm gonna be mumbling too much. My energy is going on lower and lower and lower. So I ain't gonna do that to you guys. I appreciate y'all. W Stream. Hey, shouts out Zero for having an open shift and stopping by to talk to your boy, everything like that. I appreciate it. SSB is always holding it down. Big Nate as well, always holding it down. And Flip for showing up, for showing a cameo at the beginning of the stream. I appreciate all of y'all, man. And as always, have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good everything. If nobody else told you today, I care for you. I feel you on the algorithm. I try to refresh mine every month so it ain't the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? Got to keep it fresh. Keep your perspectives fresh. Like, because you be spitting out the same stuff. Like, if you watch the same person all the time, you're going to say the same stuff. And this is the road to 10K subs. I need to say that as well. I will be live every single day. So I'll be live again tomorrow because I'm live every single day. Till next time.
Rashad, why you didn't hit me up?
Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
Brother, I love you, brother.
What's
up,
Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.